Now, from KC24, your local election headquarters, with your host, Alexan Balakian. This is Sunday Morning Matters.
And good Sunday morning. I'm Alexan Balakian. It's been a captivating week, to say the least. Fresno City Councilman Luis Chavez also announcing his bid to run for Fresno mayor. He's going to join us in studio. Plus, Dr. Joaquin Arambula back on the assembly floor. We talked to him about his first day back since being acquitted of child abuse. But first, remember this. What we haven't heard is if you're running for re-election. Are you ready to announce that today?
Absolutely. In 2008, when I first ran for council, I didn't say I'm thinking about running, I'm running. In 2016, I didn't say I'm thinking about running, I'm running. So for 2020, I'm running for mayor.
Well, that was April 7th. 43 days later, an about face from Fresno Mayor Lee Brand. On Monday, he said, I'm one and done. He will not seek re-election. I sat down with the mayor in his office earlier this week to talk about his stunning change of heart and his legacy. On April 4th, when you were on Sunday Morning Matters, there is zero doubt you said you were running for re-election. So between now and then, what happened?
You don't forget anything, do you?
I don't, no.
Actually, I've been struggling with this decision probably for 6 months. Late last year, it just seemed like, even when I originally ran, I wasn't certain I'd do 2 terms, but we did a lot of good the first couple of years. I thought maybe we can use that second term, but ultimately it was a family decision. My wife says, Lee, you're never home. Even when you're home, you're on the phone all the time. And we had a family meeting about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And Dad, we want you to move on. Grandpa, Lee. So Trish Brand and the family convinced me that, and I turned 70 last month, it was time for me to move on. And I felt I could be more effective as not having the burden of re-election to finish off my agenda, which is homeless program, street to home, human trafficking, business-friendly Fresno, and of course economic development, creating 10,000 jobs. I feel energized. I feel like I've got a couple tons off my back. And I think I can be much more successful now. Did
the makeup of the council have anything to do with this? I know you're saying it's fully a family decision, but I mean, over the last few weeks, the bickering over the gas tax, you had to use a veto on office space. Mm-hmm. That can become taxing on a mayor.
Well, I'm never going to make excuses because I was elected to solve problems and to move the city forward. I can't determine who the voters select as their representative, so the voters made the decision. My job is to find a way in the best I can to make things work. So I'm never going to blame anybody but myself. It's my job to get things done. So I think either way, I'm better. I feel much better about my decision to move on. And again, I think running the campaign is I knew in 2016 takes a lot of your time and resources. Not having to deal with that, this gives me my full time and my full energy to devote to solving these problems. And I'm hoping that we will have an improved relationship with the council and we'll work together, particularly on the budget to start with, to solve Fresno's problems.
It was very orchestrated on Monday. You made your announcement around noontime, and then immediately after that, Chief Dyer says, yes, I'm strongly considering. Very orchestrated in that. Was that the discussion you had with him, knowing that everybody was going to be, hey, this sounds like a move to bring in Police Chief Jerry Dyer into the role of mayor?
That was Jerry's decision. He and I are good friends. I spoke to him, on and off for the last couple of months and let him know that, I might change my mind. And after that family meeting, I just said, I've got to make a move. And I called Jerry, I told him, and Jerry was never going to run against me. Mm-hmm. I said, Jerry, you've got the green light. I'm not going to run. I wish you the best of luck. But there was no organized, you do this, he does whatever he wants. So if Jerry chose to come out on the same day or the next day, that was certainly up to him.
Would he make a good mayor?
Yes, I think he would. But at this point in time, I'm going to stay neutral and see how things play out in the election.
Luis Chavez announced he's now running for mayor officially. Would he make a good mayor?
I like Luis. I think Luis is a good middle-of-the-road, kind of a bottom-line guy like me, and I think he probably would be a good mayor.
Are you expecting a lot more contenders in this one?
Well, it makes it interesting to look on the sidelines,
Yeah.
and I think a couple more people will probably jump in, and all they're doing now is forming campaign committees.
Yeah.
The
Any
real
other city council members?
Well, I think maybe one or two might
Yeah.
come in. There might be somebody else come in. So I know there's at least 3 contenders now, counting Andrew Jans.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my job is to focus on improving the quality of life for this city and solve those issues.
And you've already raised somewhere north of $450,000 for what seemed to be a re-election. What do you do with that money now? I mean, there's a number of options that you could do, including using that money to endorse one of the candidates.
Well, it gives me some really good options. I could use it again for a council candidate, for a mayoral candidate. I could use it for a ballot initiative. And I could simply find some really good nonprofits out there to fund to make Fresno a better community. So I'm just leaving my options open right now.
What's your legacy?
I like to leave this place a better place than when I inherited it. And I think in focusing really on job creation, job development, changing the narrative of this city from generational poverty to prosperity, making it more business friendly, bringing the financial shape of the city into probably the best shape it's been in probably ever, with a $34 million reserve, restoring core services to pre-recession levels, creating an A+ credit rating.
Any regrets?
No, I don't have any regrets. I've been my time on as a planning commissioner, as a city council member, and as mayor is probably 16, 17 years. Public service, I was 58 when I got elected, so I was not exactly a career politician, but I have no regrets about returning. The Fresno's been good to me. I wanted to return the favor, and I think when I leave, hopefully they'll think that I did make it a better place.
Finally, you released the budget this week. And we know June 3rd, everybody's going to get together and start voting on it. You raised the parks budget. It's just under $1.2 billion that you're trying to divvy up, so to speak. How much is it of your plan that it will become reality before you leave?
Well, this is a kind of a status quo budget. We're maintaining all the existing programs. We only added, I believe, 3 or 4 positions in the DARM for the business-friendly Fresno out of the entire general fund, which is $346 million. The entire budget went up 3%. So we can maintain those services. There'll be, I'm sure, a debate with the council members. They'll have differing ideas and different programs. But in the end, if somebody, for example, wants to put $1 million more in parks, then the question is going to be, where do I take it from? Will it come out of street repairs? Does it come out of a fire station?
Well, you have to use a veto on this one.
I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping that I can get at least 4 votes. There's 6 people now, so I hope we don't deadlock at 3 and 3. Ideally, I'd hope we can get people together and maybe have a 6-0 vote, but I'll settle for a 4-2. But we have to get this vote done. A year ago on the ballot, Steve Bandro and I put a ballot measure to require the city of Fresno to have a balanced budget. We have a balanced budget requirement now, so if we don't have an agreement by June 30th, we could technically be like that we have in Washington, D.C., have a government shutdown. Well, we don't want that. We want to resolve our problems, keep the city government going forward, making the best of the resources we have to work with.
Mayor Brand, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And immediately following Mayor Brand's decision not to seek re-election, Fresno County prosecutor and new mayoral candidate Andrew Jans released this statement, quote, "I want to thank Lee Brand for his longstanding service and commitment to our great city. It's time that we come together as a community. I look forward to sharing my vision for the city of Fresno in the coming months," end quote.